Hi guys, it's me, Rusty, 78609 Central Texas, USA, 9:50 a.m. Central Standard Time. September the 18th, 2016, and this is my main man here, or main it, TC, Trenton Clump, Sir Trenton Clump. He is an it. Why is he an it? Because he doesn't give a... Anyway, having said all that, the project today is this. I don't know why, but I have had the RVing itch. I mean, I want to get kind of back on the trail again. And I was looking at my options. I've got a 26-foot bunkhouse model Jayco J-Flight travel trailer, bumper pull type, that I've full-time RV'd for 23 years. I live in this RV, and it's parked at my home base in Central Texas. However, I don't have a tow vehicle anymore. I could use my son's truck, I guess, if I really wanted to go somewhere, but I've had this thing parked here with the intention of just going camping in my Toyota Prius to satisfy my camping urge. And so far it has, and it may continue. So for the past week or so, longer than that, past couple of months actually, I've been looking at options. You know, what are the things, or what are the economical ways that I could go back on the road for a few months at a time and enjoy myself? So I started looking at small things like, you may have heard of the Runaway Camper. It's a small little box-like thing that you can actually tow behind a Toyota Prius. It weighs 700 pounds. And it's basically it's got a bed in it. It's got a 110 AC. It's got two windows in the rear, what like this right here. They're like 21 by 30 inch windows with screens. Got a nice little RV door entrance. Again, 700 pounds weight, so you could tow it with a Prius probably. And I did. I looked at it and thought about it, and I don't think I mean, it would work. It would give me some more space other than just the Prius itself. But, I don't think so. I also looked at the Tag Camper, which is similar to the Runaway Camper, only it's a fiberglass unit and it's more expensive. I don't think it would work either. I mean, it may work for some people. For me, may not. They make a thing that you can put, if you go camping in a car, any SUV, any car camping, any car that has a rear deck thing that lifts up, you know what I mean? And like the Toyota Prius, that thing that over the back rear deck opens up. Well, the tail veil would work for those people that have cars like that. And it fits over there and gives you a little screened in area at the back of your vehicle where you can put a chair and an ice chest and have a space of about 5 foot by 5 foot approximately. And I looked at that. I said, well, maybe if I went camping in my Prius, I could add that, and that would be adequate. It may or may not. Those options right there. Whenever I go camping in a Prius, it's just so easy, man. I've got my little air mattress. I take an extra change of clothes, ice chest, and a chair, a folding chair. And, that's basically it. Among a few other things, but that's basically it. And I go, and I can park anywhere and sleep comfortably. The downside is when I get somewhere, if I want to sit outside, usually there's always insects of some kind. It's either just plain old flies, biting flies, mosquitoes, no-see-ums. There's always something, okay? I mean, you're just not going to go camping in the outdoors without running into insects about 8 out of 10 days. So I thought, well, I'll just get me a Class B or C, find me a good used unit, and that way, if I wanted to sit inside, and I'd have plenty of space. I don't know why I need space, but up here I need it. So anyway, I went and drove a Class C, and they're nice. I mean, you get about 8 to 10 miles a gallon, maybe, depending on weather conditions and speed. But they're not. Motorhomes are not set up to be parked for extended periods of time. They're just not. They're meant to be used, and there's going to be months, if I have one, that it's going to be parked. So I got to give that Class C, B, and A thumbs down for me. Then I thought, well, get a small travel trailer, like a 13-foot casita, which is a fiberglass unit that's it weighs about, I think it weighs around 1,800 pounds. You can't pull it with a Prius, but you could pull it with an SUV probably. But that's the 13-footer. They also make a 16 and 17. But if I'm going to get a casita or another travel trailer, then I would live in it. I mean, I don't want to have two travel trailers. So living in a small unit, I've lived in a 17-footer. Yeah, I did for about 12 years. And it was okay, not a problem. But living in a 13-footer, I don't know. And going back to a 16-footer and towing it with a vehicle like I did before, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tow a travel trailer down the highway anymore. I'm 71 years old. I've been doing this for 23 years, and I know what wears on you. You pull in a travel trailer, whether it's just a travel trailer or a fifth wheel down the highway, it'll wear you out. I promise you it will. And then I looked at van camping. I thought about getting, a Ford Transit or a Nissan NV200, the little minivans, and just using that for going camping in, and that's a possibility. And then using that vehicle as a family car, because you could get with the NV200 and the Ford Transit, you get around 25 miles a gallon, maybe a little better, but about 25, and that's pretty good. So that would kind of work as a family car. But whenever I get to looking at the reality of it, what's the advantage of a van camping over camping in a Prius? Now I'm talking about camping. I'm not talking about living in it. But camping, the advantages are big in favor of camping in the Prius, because you've got that air conditioner that's electric in the Prius. You can lay there at night, and if it's warm, you just turn the air conditioner on and sleep in air conditioned comfort all night long. Same way with a heater, you know. And and when you're driving during the day, you're getting 50 plus miles to the gallon, so you can't hardly beat that. And then that's your family car and your camper mobile, or whatever you want to call it. So, having gone through the whole gauntlet of options for me, and the reason I'm pointing these out today is not to just tell you what I'm thinking about, but for those of you that are looking at options for camping, if you're going to full time RV, I mean that's like travel, go to all year long, year round, live in your RV and travel, then that's a whole different story. A Class C, Class B, Class A would work for you as long as you're using it and it's not parked for extended periods of time. Because, the gasoline goes bad, the battery goes dead, all kind of things happen to equipment when it's not used, if it's meant to be used. And you have to maintain, the engine on a Class A, B, and C. You got to change the oil, you got belts, hoses, and all that sort of thing. It's a motor, so you got to take care of it. And I don't want that problem. But for those of you that are going to be traveling full time, that's a fairly good option. As far as the casitas and the small travel trailers, say under 17, say 13 to 17 feet, uh, you know, for me, I'd have to live in it, and I'm happy with what I've got now. I've gotten used to this. It's 26 feet. I know it's more space than I need or use. I've got two bunk beds back there that it just became the junk room by default. And it seems like we acquire stuff. It seems like we acquire stuff according to the space we have to put it in. So if you don't have much space, you don't acquire much stuff. But if you do, you start acquiring stuff. And maybe that's how it works. But anyway, for those of you that are looking at really small tow trailers, the runaway camper deserves to be checked out because it's they're like $3,000 in that range, 3 to 4, depending on the options you select. That's fairly economical, and it beats the hell out of tent camping. It's got a little 110-volt, 5,000 BTU AC that they put in it, and they've got the wiring inside so that when you have what they call shore power, or you're somewhere where you've got electric, they've got a little. It's got several little outlets on one wall there that you can plug stuff into. So it has some benefits, and it would be useful to some people. I just can't figure out how it beats what I've got, the Toyota Prius, and it adds marginal benefits for me because I like the fact that I'm not towing anything. That if I want to leave a campground, all I got to do is punch that little blue button and go. I don't have to worry about hooking up and getting the jacks up and doing this and doing that. Even though it's very simple on that little unit because you can basically move it around by your hand. It only weighs 700 pounds. But I've gone Prius camping for the last 3.5 years, or car camping in a Prius. And it's just so easy, man. I mean, there are some downsides. You don't have a toilet. I'm working on that. And but in the tag campers, the little fiberglass units, same way, using the tail veil or some other things to, at the back of the car or the Prius, that's marginal benefit for me, basically none. And if I wanted to do something outside, and I may do this too, in fact, I'm fixing to check it as soon as I finish doing this video, is I'm just going to get possibly a little 5 foot or 5 foot by 5 foot uh, shade, a camping shade that has a bug shield, or whatever you call it, bug netting on the sides to keep the bugs away, and just set that on the ground. And when I get ready to go, hopefully I can find one that folds up into a small enough package that I can, put it in back of the Prius, put it on the bed, and as I'm moving site to site, and then when I find a camping site, just set it on the ground if I'm not going to use it, and so forth. But anyway, having said all that, for you people that are looking at camping options, there are any number out there that will suit anybody's needs. And I think, as I've mentioned this before, there is a website that you need to check out if you're looking at the different ways to stay on the road or live in a vehicle or full-time RV. And it's called Enigmatic Nomadics. I subscribe to their channel, and there's a lot of ideas there for how these people have set up their vans, their cars, their Class C's, their Class B's, their anything you can think of. In fact, there is a video of a guy on their site, Enigmatic Nomadics, and he's got a runaway camper set up. It's him and his dog, and he's got a good setup. And I've often said, a runaway camper with a little solar, and you're good to go camping anywhere. Okay, I mean that's perfect. And you can buy a solar in a little briefcase unit. I think it's 175 watts, and it's like $200 now. That's pretty damn cheap. You can get it at Amazon. I don't recall the name of it, but anyway, having said all that, for you guys that go camping or thinking about camping, uh, good luck. There are a number of options, and if you have a question, leave a comment, because I've checked out runaways, tags, tail veils, Class C's, Class B's, travel trailers, big, little, casitas, van camping, and and I've got 23 years of RVing experience, and so if you have a question, leave a comment, and I'll respond. I promise you. Anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios. TC says adios too. Trenton Clump, my main it. It's amazing. You give an inanimate object a name, like I've got a trash can named Matilda, and an it named TC short, and I feel like I've got company. Anyway, and somebody commented about my too large shirts. I know they're too big deal. I get them cheap at Walmart, and I don't care what size they are. And another individual out there commented about my hair not having a hair out of place. Well, I have couth and suave fair and all that other shit. You know what I mean? So, you got to do that. I mean, pat, pat, pat. Remember the Fonz? Anyway, happy days, the Fonz. Anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye bye.